that looks creepy. What are you trying to say? It's like a friggin' vagrant sleeps under there. When I say this, because I've seen it. You know?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered
More
the
numbers,
possibility
man.
of
It
facing
must
his
matter.
boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
No, I'm not.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want.
I've enjoyed my 2 weeks off.
I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal.
No, I'm not.
Everything will be fine.
It's not.
I am
it's fine that it's not fine.
okay.
Don't control me. Don't control me. Where am I? Oh, I'm back in this room.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I?
Hey, 1 more minute.
And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Oh my God!
But on this particular
Wow.
day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Oh my God. It's really the same. What's the time? What's the time I said? It's the same time. Wait a minute. It's the same time. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I don't know. You tell
Stanley
me
decided
mine.
to go to the meeting room.
Think you
Perhaps
control
he
me?
had simply missed a memo.
Oh, I can legitimately actually work through the logical sequence of all of this. And
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the
Correct.
meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
I did.
Perhaps he wanted
And
to
I
stop
do.
by the employee lounge first,
Maybe.
just to admire it.
Yup. Watch. Look how fast
Wow.
I've admired it.
Yes,
Now
this
what?
room.
Look at that.
But
Can't
eager
even
to
finish
get
your
back to
narration.
business, Stanley took the
Huh?
first open door on his left.
On his left. Wait. No, I didn't. I took this one.
Stanley was
And
so
then
bad
this
at
one,
following directions,
and then
it's
this
incredible
one.
he wasn't fired years ago.
That's right. And then I came over here. Go
Look,
ahead.
Stanley, I think perhaps
I've done
we've
that
gotten
one.
off on the wrong foot here.
I can't go in that
I'm
one.
not your enemy, really, I'm not.
I walk.
I realize that investing in your... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good
Now
job,
the family
Stanley.
has to pay
Everyone thinks you are
$5,000 under
very
my name. It's
powerful.
going to come off my benefits, off my retirement, my pension. Oh. Let's do this again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he
This
had
is
simply
not
missed a
real.
memo.
This is just a dream. And once you become aware that you're in a
When
dream,
Stanley came
you
to
can
a set
control
of 2
the
open
dream.
This was not the correct way to
It
the meeting
is
room,
the
and
correct
Stanley
way.
knew it
Watch,
perfectly
it's gonna
well.
go this way.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
maybe
just
for a
to
little
admire
bit.
it.
Look how fast I've
The
admired
lounge
said
was
room.
sublime, a
And
work
then
of
I'm gonna go
art.
this way.
But eager to get
See, you
back to
can't even
business,
finish your
Stanley
narration.
took the first open door on his left.
First the door on the left, this one right here. No, I didn't. I went this way. And then I went this way.
Stanley was so
and then I
bad
went
at
this way.
following
And then
directions,
I went on
it's
this thing.
incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
And you see, I can't go into there.
Look,
I can
Stanley,
definitely
I think
jump on.
perhaps we've gotten off on the
I
wrong foot here.
can't go in there.
I'm not your
I'm-
enemy, really, I'm
what else?
not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
No,
There's
it's
someone
about
you've
you.
been
Think it's about
neglecting,
you. It's not
Stanley.
about you.
Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
What?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
What are you talking?
She's been waiting.
You're just trying to give me some catalyst. It's not gonna work. I know your tricks, your narrative tricks, your devices. Oh, that looks a very dark room. All right. Oh, Jesus!
That's
mercy,
her, Stanley.
mother.
You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
What if I don't want to pick up the phone? How long are you gonna do this? I'm trying to walk back up. I can't.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
What?
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that?
I don't know what I did. How did I do?
Chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double
What did I do?
check.
I don't even know. I was just...
No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that
So
even
it's the correct
possible?
course of action.
None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand.
Broke it.
How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you...
That's right.
Wait a second.
Because they're my choices.
Did I just see...
We'll power pitch.
No,
Let me out of here.
that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Oh.
I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
4:30. Oh yeah, okay. No, my office number is 427. 3 minutes? Is something with 3 minutes?
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less?
Do your brain
and finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back.
Hello?
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been.
Oh God,
this way, please.
Into each other. More charts. Yes, sir. What would you like me to do, sir? Go back into the phone room? No? Okay, then. Okay. Okay. But... what? What are you making me do here?
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
What are you making me do? You're making me walk all the way back? You bastard. And then what? I went into this room. I went into this room.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending. The story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
The door on the left.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Oh, deconstruction? Oh my god. Ah! Yeah. What the hell is the point? What's with the door on the left, man? Why are you doing this? No, there's still an option back there where I answer the phone. Okay. Oh, I have it.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do?
Are you unraveling?
Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. Oh, I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly...
Oh, I can.
They destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do?
I don't want to cut him off now.
Do
I go back?
No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
What if I... Run! Run! My poor dog. Okay. Alright, let's do this. Uh-oh.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground.
I'm sorry.
What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see?
Didn't
I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
Oh my god, is it literally that you can finish this game in 3 minutes and just follow what it's saying?
If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors...
I'm going to the phone. I haven't done the last choice on the right. So I'm going to go to the right.
No! Why did you do that?
Damn it.
Quickly.
Man, let me pick up the phone. Damn it.
Behavior.
Don't take that option away from me. Let me pick up the phone. What are you doing? What? I can't hear you. Sir?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I can't see anything, sir. I've broken the game to such a degree that I have to force boot. Just turn slowly. Maybe you'll get into something. Maybe you'll slide it. No. Oh, I can save it? No, I don't want to save it now. It doesn't look like... Doesn't look like it matters. Nothing matters. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I did want to pass by the employee lounge first.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
You mean this first door on the left right here? Yeah, no, not right now. We're going to go this way. And then we're going to
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
And I can jump off and get charged $5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
I've already gone that way, and that looks like...
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself,
we're gonna
to put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
By trying to pick up the phone,
she's been waiting.
The game is making me unplug it. Pick it up.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out.
Oh. So, maybe I was running around like a maniac, hitting the click.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee 427. Press 8 on your keyboard. No. Oh, I can't go that way. Are you going to make me do it?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I'm not chosen. I choose my own.
But in his
Screw you
mind,
with that. You know
in
what
his
you're doing
mind,
there.
he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
It does ever.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Doesn't work on that side?
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
I think it works.
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing
There's
beyond
that one
hope
door on
that
the
it
left
would
that haven't
never
gone
end,
down. I have to
that he
hit the
might
right door one more
always
time. Let me
feel
back
this
in.
free. Surely there's an answer down some new path.
The one
Mustn't
on the
there be?
left.
Perhaps if he played just one more time.
One more time.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Shut up.
And I'm trying
know
to
me.
tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Where's my red stapler? Where's my red stapler?
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I
need to go on the door on the left. I need to go down the door on the left. Take the right door on the left. Go.
How wonderful.
Sprint.
Stanley was alone. Finally.
Oh.
This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Breaking you? You're breaking me. You're breaking
Stanley
me.
came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
choice
well.
I can
Perhaps
make
he wanted to stop
through
by
the
the
door on the
employee
right.
lounge
I
first,
do
just
want
to
to
admire
stop.
it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach.
Stop,
But
you
eager
don't
to
know
get back
me.
to business, Stanley took
Time
the
is it?
first open door on his left.
I will. Hold on, but after I say no. No. Don't close.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
No. No. I'm trapped like a rat. I can't go through that door. That's the baby. Yeah!
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Next.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Wow. Crowd of applause. And ready, set, go! Go!
How wonderful.
Yeah.
Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what
Never
I've
get in
wanted
my
all
way.
along.
Never
I
get in
got
my
what
way.
I wanted.
Watch. This.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room,
what you
and
want.
Stanley knew it perfectly well.
I do.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand,
fast I would
majestic, perhaps but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Alright, so we're gonna go through the first door on the left.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door,
I did not
and got
walk
back
straight
on
ahead.
track.
I clicked the button. Down! What are you gonna do with that, huh? What are you gonna do? Oh.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even
Freedom!
further off track. So now, in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
The right clearly is the right door.
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute?
The right is the right door.
Now, let's see, we went
the
down,
left is
right,
only
left,
when it's what's
down,
left.
Left, right.
Yep.
Right. Okay, yes.
Right until
I've got it now.
All
this
that's
story
left.
is absolutely,
okay.
definitely this way.
Okay. Down into the bowels of hell we shall go. Ooh.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
No.
Okay. We just have to get back to who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
We're almost there, guys. We're almost. I feel like we're almost at the end. Let's go. What time is it? Let's go. What time is it? Wait a minute. You've changed the time. You've changed it. No, I think it's the same time. Let's
All
go.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, he's legitimately. Did I do all the options on the right?
When Stanley... Wait, what? No.
But I only had
I
left.
completely restarted the game.
No!
Completely fresh. Everything should be...
Oh my god, this game is breaking me.
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
What? No, I had one option left to do. We were on such good time. Let's go right. Oh my god. Let's go right. This is the right way. What time is it? Oh, we've lost a couple minutes. No, I gotta go right. I gotta go right.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on.
No,
I can promise you,
gotta
there definitely
always, you
was
gotta
a
take
story
lefts,
here
but
before.
on this game.
Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again. But it's got to be better than this.
Okay, there.
Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Don't start it over. I'm in the middle of exploring. Okay, let's go. What time is it? My lights off. At the same time, we're good.